know that symbol. That's a Phrygian cap. It stands for freedom, and that's a Masonic eye. Now those two come together in only one place. What's happening?
What up, y'all? It's the Dot Connector, and tonight something feels off. Not in a vague way, not in a bad vibes way, but in that deep, unsettling way where your spirit knows something before your mind catches up. The world is supposed to be celebrating, counting down, popping champagne, kissing loved ones at midnight, but instead, cities are tense, police presence is heavy, events are being canceled, security is being ramped up, and nobody wants to talk about why, because the truth doesn't fit the illusion of normalcy they're trying to sell you. As the clock moves closer to midnight, governments across the world are quietly acknowledging something most people aren't prepared to hear. New Year's Eve has become a target, not just a celebration, but a symbol, a moment of maximum crowds, maximum chaos, maximum psychological impact, and tonight, the mask slipped. According to breaking reports, the FBI has confirmed it foiled a coordinated New Year's Eve terror plot targeting Los Angeles. Multiple suspects, multiple bombs, multiple locations. This wasn't a lone wolf. This wasn't random. This wasn't theoretical. This was real.
For viewers who are watching their screens, they were actually just showing a moment ago surveillance footage. They had actually been able to film them. Here it is right here on your screen, testing these bombs out in the Mojave Desert. I understand we were just made aware at this press conference, it was after this video was taken that those arrests were made. And the authorities that just provided this briefing do believe that they have everyone who was involved in custody.
And here's the part that should chill you to the core. If this plot had succeeded, it wouldn't have just killed people, it would have changed the world overnight, because history tells us something very important. When fear reaches a certain threshold, freedom becomes negotiable. And when people are afraid enough, they will beg for the very chains that bind them. We've seen this pattern before. A crisis emerges, the media amplifies it, politicians promise safety, new powers are granted, old rights quietly disappear, and they never come back. So tonight, as fireworks are supposed to light the sky, the question isn't, will there be an attack? The real question is, what happens if there is? Who benefits from the aftermath? And how ready is the world for what comes next? Because since 2020, nothing has gone back to normal. Pandemics, lockdowns, wars, economic collapse, AI replacing humans, billionaires building bunkers, governments openly discussing digital IDs and surveillance. It feels like the world has been stuck in a permanent state of emergency, and tonight may be another turning point, another moment where the timeline shifts, another moment where freedoms are traded for fear, another moment where people say, I never thought it would happen like this. So before the ball drops, before the fireworks, before the headlines change by the morning, we need to talk. Because all cards are on the table now. All outcomes are plausible. And the world you wake up to tomorrow may not look the same. Stay with me.
The Dot Connector here. The transmission is unstable, but we're holding the line. Stay tuned. The final piece is about to be revealed.
Family, in a world where truth has become dangerous, every voice that speaks it becomes a target. They tried to silence this channel once, and while we made it through that storm, the truth is, we're still being watched. Every word, every frame, every truth we uncover makes us a bigger target. Your support has carried us through the darkest moments, and now, as we dive deeper into the agendas they don't want exposed, your help is more important than ever. If you value the mission, if these videos have opened your eyes, consider supporting the channel by using the donation links in the description. Every single gift, large or small, fuels the resistance against the digital lies of big tech and the spiritual wickedness in high places. Thank you for your love, support, and for walking this narrow path with me. My name is Devin Worlds, and we are the Dot Connectors.
Welcome back. You survived the blackout. The greatest show in the universe continues. And we are the Dot Connectors.
We are hearing that New Year's Eve events are being canceled around the world due to public safety concerns of potential threats of attack. Let's go ahead and take a look at the latest headlines so that way you can see it for yourself. public safety concerns lead to cancellations of major New Year's Eve events, here is what to know. Paris, Tokyo, and Belgrade, they have called off events following FBI bust of the alleged LA bombing plot. And we had seen this just a little while ago, about a week or so ago. There were people that were planning to attack Los Angeles on New Year's Eve. Now, France joins Italy, Japan, Serbia, and Hong Kong in cancellations of major New Year's Eve events. Is public safety taking precedence over tradition in 2025?
Federal authorities say 4 individuals were arrested in connection with a planned New Year's Eve bombing operation. According to the FBI, these suspects were allegedly preparing improvised explosive devices intended for 5 separate locations across Los Angeles. They weren't arrested online. They weren't arrested after posting threats. They were arrested while actively preparing and testing explosives. And just when people thought the danger was contained, authorities revealed a 5th individual linked to the same extremist network. This individual was arrested in New Orleans, allegedly planning a separate attack. So let me ask you something. If this many were caught, how many weren't? Because history tells us something very important. When officials say there is no ongoing threat, that usually means they don't fully know yet.
3 days till New Year's Eve.
3 days.
How worried do people in this country, in big crowds celebrating, need to be about their safety?
I think people should be aware of their surroundings. It sounds a little trite, but if you see something, say something, you can really make a difference. But, we're not going to bend the knee to these cowards, these terrorists, as we've seen in the past. And so Americans should go out. They should celebrate this great year we've had, be with friends and family, but just be aware of your surroundings.
And when people are looking for something possibly out of place, how worried do they need to be about a repeat of what happened last New Year's Eve on Bourbon Street, which would be like a vehicle ramming attack?
Homeland Security investigations, FBI, and other local law enforcement partners, we did just foil a planned attack for New Year's Eve where there were coordinated bombings by a very far left terrorist organization. But that being said, I think what the Trump administration has done so well is really breaking down these silos in the intelligence community. Left hand and right hand really know what each other are doing. So we foiled those attacks, and we are going to continue doing that going forward, Peter.
The biggest New Year's celebration in the world every year, Times Square.
Yes.
There is this new report, DHS, your department, and the FBI, about lone wolf threats, the possibility of lone wolf threats. ABC published part of it. It says lone offenders remain a particular concern due to their frequent ability to avoid detection until operational. Al-Qaeda and ISIS and their supporters continue to demonstrate an interest in targeting special events in the homeland, as well as U.S. officials and other perceived enemies. Do people need to worry, or can they just be vigilant?
I think you just be vigilant. You should always be aware when you're in large crowds or going to a large event, whether it be New Year's Eve, the Super Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, the America 250, these great events that are coming up. But what terrorists want is they want us to be afraid, and they want us to fear and not go out and celebrate our lives and our family and our great country. So don't bend the knee, get out there, go celebrate, but be aware.
And there has been enough recent radical Islamic terror around the world that we've got a list of cities that are canceling New Year's celebrations in Bali and Belgrade, Hong Kong, Jakarta, Monaco, Paris, Sydney, and Tokyo. Have you guys heard from any American mayors about specific concerns celebrating this year?
No, we're working very closely with local and state law enforcement, but Americans are going to continue to go out and celebrate. That's what we want. We're Americans. We don't bend the knee to these terrorist organizations, and so we're going to continue to be safe and vigilant. I know New Orleans, they're going to have the National Guard down there to help with those celebrations in New Orleans, as well as the Super Bowl and the Sugar Bowl coming up.
Now here's where things get uncomfortable. Every major expansion of government power in modern history has followed a crisis. 9/11 brought the Patriot Act. Mass surveillance brought national security. Lockdowns brought public health. Digital tracking brought safety and convenience. And if a large-scale terror attack were to occur, especially during a global event like New Year's Eve, it would be the perfect justification to expand surveillance, to restrict movement, to censor speech, to deploy military forces domestically, to normalize emergency powers. This is the kind of event that elites, global planners, and so-called stakeholders have openly said must never go to waste. And whether an attack is organic, exploited, or allowed to happen, the outcome is always the same: more control and less freedom. Zoom out for a moment. Since 2020, the world has entered a state of permanent crisis. A global pandemic that normalized lockdowns, supply chains collapsing overnight, a housing market rigged beyond reach, food and gas prices skyrocketing, wars and rumors of wars, Russia and Ukraine, Israel and Gaza, UFO and non-human intelligence disclosure, Epstein crimes quietly confirming elite depravity, billionaires fleeing to bunkers, AI advancing faster than laws or ethics can keep up. Nothing is stabilizing, everything is accelerating. Let's say the unthinkable happens. Let's say a successful attack occurs anywhere. What do you think comes next? Emergency laws passed overnight, cashless systems pushed for safety, mandatory digital IDs, expanded AI surveillance, speech labeled as radicalized, faith-based dissent treated as extremism. This is how the New World Order doesn't arrive with tanks. It arrives with paperwork, algorithms, and fear. And once freedoms are gone, they are never returned. The Bible warned us, for when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes upon them. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 3, nation will rise against nation, and there will be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in various places. These aren't random events, they are birth pains, and birth pains don't go backward, they intensify. That's the scariest part. Economic collapse, plausible. Regional wars becoming global, plausible. Mass surveillance becoming permanent, plausible. Terror being used to justify tyranny, plausible. We are living in a moment where every card is on the table, and the people who sense that unease deep in their spirit, you're not crazy, you're discerning. This is not the time to mock. This is not the time to be distracted. This is not the time to trust institutions blindly. This is the time to get right with God, detach from the system, strengthen your discernment, prepare spiritually, mentally, and physically, because whether the next chapter unfolds slowly or suddenly, the old world is already gone, and what replaces it will expose who was awake and who slept through the warning. But what are your thoughts? Sound off in the comment section and let me know. And because there will be no Dot Connector channel without viewers like you, I would like to give a special shout out to anyone who has donated to or supported the channel in any type of way. Stay sharp, stay watchful, stay grounded in truth. My name is Devin Worlds, and we are the Dot Connectors. Peace.
Folks, enjoy what may be your last Christmas.
What was supposed to be a traditional Christmas message just turned into a political firestorm. During Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, the president posted a series of holiday messages that shocked many Americans. Alongside wishing the country a Merry Christmas, he warned citizens to enjoy what may be your last Christmas. The statement was framed as a warning about the nation's future, blaming political opponents, the radical left, and powerful elites. In other posts, he revived old claims involving Jeffrey Epstein, attacked media figures, and revisited past election grievances. Instead of a single calm address, the messages came in rapid succession, mixing holiday wishes with anger, accusations, and conspiracy-tinged language. Media outlets and commentators reacted immediately, calling the tone dark, ominous, and deeply divisive for a moment, traditionally associated with unity. The backlash spread beyond the US.
We gotta bring him down, fast!
Yeah, what do we do?
Let us raise temperature.
Oh, bad, very bad!
Pete, are you okay?
No. No! I'm okay. I've got him. Headed your way. Be ready.
Okay. Yeah. Might, need a minute.